don't know him, you don't know wrestling. This man has held 6 different belts. The only team to win all 3 major belts. The Crockett Cup, this man's a legend in his sport.
How am I not going to like this guy, right? He knows everything.
No,
Welcome to another edition of Hero Television. We're at part 2 with Valentine Bennett. And first of all, thank you so much for letting us come up and be in your studio, get the questions, see you perform. You know, it's like almost like the MTV Unplugged. It's the
HeroTV Unplugged.
HeroTV Unplugged. So
I like
So when we have questions and our guests don't have enough time, we'll just like, ladies and gentlemen, Valentine Bennett. Boom.
Bam.
Boom. There you go.
Boom.
And then we'll get sued by him for saying copyright infringement.
Well, we had signed that thing earlier.
We signed that thing earlier. So now we've talked about how you got involved in music, how you got your start, but now going to your performance. There is something I haven't seen from any band perform ever in the Chicagoland area or ever in period. When you perform, you have like 20 little boxes in front of you and your foot is like, I mean, it's like a toe tap while you're singing, while you're playing. Tell us about this, the configuration on the floor, because I can't explain you. That's why I'm making them go to see you, because this is just worth the admission alone, seeing you do this.
It's my spaceship is what it is. So what I do when I perform solo is called looping. It's been around for a long time, and it recently has become a lot more popular with, for instance, the emergence of Ed Sheeran. He does the, you might have heard one-man band. He does the one-man band thing. So basically what I do is I create an entire band sound on stage with just me, and there's nothing's pre-recorded. I'm playing everything live. Basically what I have is a guitar pedal, I don't know, maybe it's the side that big or whatever. And what it does is it enables you to record something live. So whatever I'm playing live in the moment, it will record it, and then once I enable it to when I stop the recording, I then enable it to repeat, and then it just loops. Basically, it will just play for however long that, whether that was 1 bar or 8 bars or 8 measures, it will just repeat forever until I stop it. But then I'm also allowed to add on top of it, and then how I'm able to differentiate myself from other loopers that I've seen is the addition of, because I'm really an electric player, the addition of guitar effects. Through my acoustic, I've been able to really kind of set myself apart. So I use an octave pedal, which drops the tuning of my guitar down an octave, so I'm able to play bass lines, and then I use very large delays and reverbs, which make me sound like I'm from the friggin' 70s. Pink Floyd was a huge influence of mine, so I got some of that, and then I'll hit my guitar and tap it in different ways to create percussive sounds. So, Paul, like you said, there might even be more than 20 pedals on there, but it's quite the large setup. But it really allows me to just really have a different kind of show. In my very early years, I was just doing kind of like the coffee house singer-songwriter thing, and I was kind of bored to death up there, quite honestly, and I could tell the audience wasn't having any fun either, and I needed to find a way to do something different, and I came across someone looping, and since then I was like, that's what I have to do, and I've been doing it now for 15 years, and I've gotten, luckily through practice, I've gotten very good at it.
I can't describe it. It's with all the different pedals, to keep in your head which pedal is which is this, and then on top of it, you got to keep whatever melody is going in your head or what you're trying to remember to sing. And what type of preparation does it take to practice that?
Oh, well, at this point, I think the right thing to say is practice makes perfect. When I look at the board now and when I'm playing a song live now, it really is. Now, granted, I still make plenty of mistakes, but I think they're all small enough to where I only notice them and others don't. I hope. But now it really is just kind of second nature. It's so ingrained in me, and I've just been doing it for so long. Like, to me, it's simple at this point. But some people, um, it just kind of blows their mind, which is cool. That's great.
It's
I
almost
guess,
like another piano key for you. It's like Tom Hanks with the giant piano key. He's
Yeah.
hitting all these different things out there.
my foot really is a second instrument playing all these things. 'Cause
His calves are huge by the end of the night.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
How do you know when you're writing a song? How do you know when that song is done, or how do you determine that it's done?
It's kind of a feeling inside. And since I've been going down to Nashville now and focusing more on the original thing, I've also been making some relationships with other songwriters and some publishers. So now, up until this point, it was just up to my, assessment or opinion if a song was done. So now I'm able to reach out to some friends and get at least a second ear, which has helped. But pre any of that, it was just very much a feeling. And sometimes I would think a song is done, and in the process of, starting the recording or waiting to decide on a release, I might revisit it and see if there's anything that doesn't fit as well. For me, I want to feel like every word is where it is in its place. Every syllable, every word's perfect might not be the right word, but for me, I want to make sure that everything is exactly what and where it needs to be, and I'm getting my message across correctly. So I just kind of feel it inside, really.
Do you ever go back then in old songs, or is that just like, would that just drive you crazy? Like once the song is, I'm talking about like a couple years old, not like stuff that you just did last week.
I've even gone to songs. I put out a record when I was in high school, when I was 17, and a couple of those songs I still play live. I've even gone back to those, and there was a sentence there, or even a verse there that I threw out and rewrote. I didn't re-record them or anything. If you were to hear the old recordings, that's how they are. But in a live setting, I have changed some stuff and tried to make it a little better, a little less amateur, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, otherwise, also at a certain point you have to feel like, because you're right, you could just go back and forth forever.
Right, drive yourself insane.
Exactly. At a certain point, it needs to be,
Done.
done. Yeah.
And in the process, not only you're writing songs, performing songs, now because of the art of media with Facebook and everything, live things, you also have to do probably, the record people want you, I don't know if they're called record people anymore, but putting out videos.
Yeah.
Now, what goes in your thought process? Because remember, it's your song, your words, and now they have to now put it up on the screen. How much input do you put into that? And are you like, well, this song I want this image for this word or that? Because some people are very particular of how they want their image to portray.
A little bit. I want to try and be a little humble and like, if a director is going to come in, say, I haven't ever had a director do a video for me, but in the future, if like a director is going to come in and have a vision for a song, I want to be very open and to see what they're thinking, because I'm not a director, I'm the songwriter, the musician. I don't want to pretend that, or I don't want to put myself in a job that's not mine. So I feel like I would have as much input as I wanted to, or I might have a little bit of a vision, but I do want to leave certain things to the professionals. I do record my own videos here at times, which are fine for what they are, but small productions, small performances, nothing with the storyline or anything like that. So I haven't really gotten to the point of actually creating a high budget music video. They're still great and they still work, but it's not like MTV back in the day where it's like you had to have this it's not as important, I don't think.
Well, just be
anymore.
careful because John G tries to get into everything. every book, every comic person we've talked to is how do I fit John G into this team?
Promotion.
All right.
Promotion.
All right.
Now, when you've done all this, write your music and go there, what's the biggest change you've seen in the music industry? Because, when you started, it's one way. Now you're in 2019. What's the change that you've seen in the music industry?
I think I would have to say just the fact that now that the gatekeepers they don't hold the key to your destiny anymore, that really anybody, I don't want to say anybody, but, it's for people that didn't have the money or the connections previously now can actually, with social media and full internet at full scale, can really do great. I mean, there's kids that are half my age that have been doing it half as long as I have, that have made unbelievable careers just in their bedrooms, really, without any connections. I mean, Justin Bieber was, for instance, discovered on YouTube just playing covers, and now is going to be in the history books. He's one of the biggest selling artists of all time. So it really is just the opportunity is really incredible, and I think people kind of forget that you would have had to have, your uncle would have had to have owned Sony, or you would have had to have moved to LA, and maybe lived out there for years until you got discovered. I mean, it really was, there were so many incredibly talented people that never made it because what they didn't get was that series of events of luck that really helped propel them. And now you kind of, with a lot of time and a lot of work on the socials, people are making incredible careers. I mean, really, it's pretty awesome.
Now, earlier you mentioned Pink Floyd as an influence. Yeah. So who would you say from like past, who would be some of your favorite music acts, and then current, if you can name a few? Sure.
I was heavily influenced by David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, so I loved them at a very early age. See who else. In my teens growing up, I was a huge fan of Stone Temple Pilots. I thought they were very, they're really, unfortunately, I think they're really mainly known for their radio hits, but if you dive deeper, they were an incredibly diverse group and one of the most awesome frontman that ever lived, in my opinion. And I would say currently, definitely listening to a lot of country, very much in the country rock scene. One of my favorite bands is Brothers Osborne. I went and saw them in Chicago this January, actually. They were fantastic. Killer guitars, unique songs to country, I think. So I really digging them recently.
And how was it when, if you can remember, when like the first fan encounter, a fan of yours that kind of came up to you and either asked for a picture or an autograph or just complimented you? Do you remember that?
Ooh.
Or any memorable one that you had?
Oh, well, there's quite a bit of them. I mean, since joining Semple, we do, after every show, we'll do meet and greets. I guess more so the shows in the summer for the festivals, we'll do meet and greets and we'll sign things and take pictures. I've been playing now for about 14 years professionally, so there was some of that a little bit early on, but maybe about 3.5 years ago when I first joined Semple and we started playing some big festival shows, people that I had never met or seen before kind of walking up to me and knowing my name and asking for pictures and autographs. That was pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool.
Probably it's pretty even cool when you're out there performing your songs and you see the audience singing your songs.
Yeah.
I mean, what emotions go through your mind? Because A, they know the song.
Yeah.
They've connected to the song.
Oh yeah, I mean it's I guess it would be the same thrill I get from being on stage, but that might take it to a whole nother level. That's exactly, I think, what all musicians dream about, you know, our song that I co-wrote with Keith, 5 O'Clock, you know, when we play that in front of a large festival crowd, you know, you might have 1,000 people singing that chorus line there.
Or a chorus line at Barney's Island.
Yeah, that's a totally different story. Yeah.
But the thing is that with all the success you've had, you know, have you, because you've met all the different artists and stuff, have you been able to meet some of the idols that you've had? Because now you're in the industry. Because once you get in the industry, you get to meet certain people. Have you been able to meet some of the celebrities that you grew up, you know, idolizing or looking up to, or, hey, I'm really a fan of you?
I've met a few people. I mean, not nearly as many as, say, Keith, for instance. When I was a kid, I really used to like the Gin Blossoms. About 10 years ago, I opened for them, and I got to meet the lead singer, so I thought that was cool. Over the years, here and there, some people, but yeah, not too much, unfortunately. One of these days.
One of these, closer than normal.
Are there any music venues on your bucket list where you want to perform there that you haven't yet?
Oh, yeah, wow. Soldier Field, Hometown would be great. Red Rocks.
Beautiful place.
You've never been there, but it's just, you hear all the, you know, all your idols always talking about it, and just how it's an incredible venue. Alpine would be another one, which would be great. I mean, the list could probably go on forever, you know.
Any favorite place that you have played?
House of Blues in Chicago is incredible. I've played there many times. Great stage, beautiful room, great sound. Naperville Rib Fest is another awesome stage, very large, big production. They got the screens and everything, so that's another great spot. Yeah.
And with all the success you've had and all the people coming up to you, what advice do you give to someone? Because, you know, you have people looking up to you going, hey, I want to get in the music industry. And, you know, because they see your success and they see your creativity, what advice do you give to them?
Believe in yourself. It's a little cliche, I suppose. Believe in yourself, but also don't wait or expect anyone to do it for you. This day and age, kind of like some of the things we were talking about, no one's going to discover you. No one is going to put in the work for you. You really have to become not only the artist, but you have to become the business owner and really everything. Your own manager, your marketer. It's an incredible amount of work, and if every step of it isn't a labor of love, then it might not be the right thing for you to do. But if it's something that you do want to do, just work your face off, love every minute of it, and believe in yourself.
And with all the highs and lows that comes with this music industry, with any career, what keeps you motivated? Because you have your good days, and then there's days you're just like beating your head against the wall.
Sure. Just my inner drive and my belief in myself. You know, I feel like this is my purpose, and you know, there are some ugly days, but you know, the great days far outweigh any bad day, and even in the bad days, no matter how I'm feeling and no matter how much I don't want to do something, for some reason there's this force inside me that just makes it happen and makes me do it, and then once it's done, I feel so much better for doing it. So yeah, it's the drive.
And we'll be right back with more Hero TV.
Hi, I'm Elliot Serrano, and you're watching Hero TV.
We're back here on Hero Television. We've been spending our episode 2 with Valentine, and again, thank you so much for letting us come out to see you, to your studio, to hear all about you, because I know your fans, you know, they see one side of you, but now they get to see another side of you and find out what makes you tick. For the viewers out there and fans, how do they get a hold of you, and how do they get a hold of this great merch that you have?
Oh, you mean this right here?
Yeah.
Well, you can find me at my website at valentinebennett.com, 2 N's, 2 T's. The same thing for all socials. It's just at Valentine Bennett. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. My latest song is on Spotify, and I've got some new releases coming up there as well. So all that's at Valentine Bennett. And then there's a link to my store on the website as well.
You even got a store. So
All sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. So
Buy the merch.
yes,
That's right.
Just in time for the holidays. They make
Yes.
great gifts.
So once again, thank you so much for
Thank you
stopping
for having me.
by.
It's fine.
We
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Thank you.
And
Pleasure,
for you
man.
fans, once again, thank you for watching Hero Television. We have a special treat for you after this. So once again, thank you for watching Hero Television. I've been your host, PL Myers, along with Johngy and our special guest, Valentine Bennett.
This one's called Home. I've gone too long. I ran away from what is right, even though I knew it wrong. But I've come to know you can go around the world to realize there's no place like home. Home, let me go home. I walked through all these crowded streets and still felt alone. Home, let me go home. There's no place that I'd rather be than in my favorite company. There's a light, an emptiness you need to fill, never ending why. There's a truth that everything that ever is right inside of you. Home, let me go home. I walked through all these crowded streets and still felt alone. Home, let me go home. There's no place that I'd rather be than in my favorite company. I always felt that home is where the heart is, and I know it's the place that I belong. And so I end up right back where I started, learning what I've known all along. Home, let me go home. I walked through all these crowded streets and still felt all alone. Home, let me go home. There's no place that I'd rather be than in my favorite company. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. There's no place that I'd rather be than to have you standing next to me at home.
Now, the first time I interviewed you, I believe it was at C2E2. You were dressed very much like you are today. But if people see you at Comic Cons now, going forward, usually they usually see you a little different. You're usually dressed up in a little.
Yes, I am dressed up in my clown noir getup, where I dress like Rex Coco, Private Clown, one of my favorite characters that I've been writing books about.
So even at a Comic Con, you managed to stand out. And like we said, we were talking to Paul Erickson the last episode, and you guys usually share a table, and you both are in costume. What kind of reactions do you guys get from the citizenry at the conventions?
Some people are very afraid of clowns. I do meet them. I think it's hilarious when I stood next to a woman, and I had a big poster of Rex Coco behind me, and I'm in a little bit of makeup, and I got this goofy costume on, and she was talking to me about how scared she was of clowns. And I looked, and I pointed, I'm standing next to a poster of a clown. She says, but that's different. I could talk to you, but I hate clowns. I hate clowns. But a lot of people have a lot of fun with it, too. I actually, my best memory of everything is when a guy showed up in the same costume. So I had a Rex Coco cosplayer come up to me at the booth, and just, that's a freak. That's freaks you out.
John, why'd you do that to him?
It wasn't me. Now you had to take a picture of them, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Matthew Glenn is a friend of mine now, and he just kind of showed up one day with the small hat and the orange hair and the big tie and the yellow trench coat.
All your success, who were your heroes growing up?
My parents, for sure. They raised 4 kids together. They had more altogether, but they raised 4 together. And yeah, I think they really stuck in it for us. And my dad, like I say, the sense of humor. My mom, she's like the most sacrificing woman ever. Like, you know, she'll go hungry to make sure. I think all moms do that, but I maybe some don't. But I'm glad to say my mom does do that. But yeah, outside of family, like I said, big Clyde Drexler fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know what to get you for your birthday.
Yeah, some Clyde Drexlers.
Clyde
some
Drexlers,
shoes.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, I would say them for sure.
Now, you wore a special shirt today. Could we show the audience, and could you explain
Oh
it?
yeah, it's a scripture. So my mom, she kept us in church growing up. So we stayed out the streets and stuff. And when we tried to do, she'd throw a Bible at our head. And so yeah, basically I came across this reading it one day. It's Genesis 21:6, and says, "God has given me laughter. Everyone who hears will laugh with me." And I thought, like, man, if that's anything close to a comedian, I think that's it right there.
And you mentioned Dave Chappelle. You've mentioned Clyde Drexler. Have you got to meet any of your idols, any of your heroes?
I have not. I met a niece of Clyde Drexler's. That's the
Brushes with the relatives of the family.
right. That's the closest. And but
Let's pretend Paul and I are patients.
Okay.
You show us a little bit. We're patients in a room, and you walk into our room. What could we expect?
Okay, well, let's see. First off, I walk in there, and it depends on your age. Let's say you're younger. I like this approach. I'll say, "Are you Johngy?
I am.
You know, I've heard about you. Everyone says you're like the best patient here."
Get out!
They actually asked me to do magic. I'm Chuck from Open Heart Magic. You want to see some magic?
I would love to see magic.
Great. Now, Johngy may have a brother, Paul, because we entertain the siblings.
Older
The
brother.
Parents, an older brother. Yeah, right. Okay, well, we'll see about that. So I'll say, let's try something special. You ever play cards?
A little bit.
Okay, we're going to figure you're around 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm exactly 10.
Okay. So they'll know, even if they don't play cards, they know their numbers, okay? So
Yeah.
we'll see how well you know your numbers.
Okay.
What would that be?
That's a 3.
Can you hold your hand like this? Now, to get a little warm, but don't worry, it's not going to burn you. Just keep it nice and steady there. And do you ever play cards at all, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, this would be what?
Jack.
Okay, hold your hand like this. It's going to get a little warm, but it won't burn.
Okay.
Perfect. Keep it steady. Is it getting warm?
A little bit.
Okay, that's okay. Now, I hear you're such a special guest, and you have a special magic word that can maybe help. What type of magic word do you think it would be?
Cowabunga.
You know what? That may work. Now, at this point, I may give them a magic wand. I have gifts to give them, a magic wand, bracelet, or something. So pretend it's a magic wand. Say cowabunga and wave it.
Cowabunga.
Paul, do you feel anything happen just now? You know what? I think it did happen.
I felt it.
Okay, remember what you had, what card you had?
I had a 3.
Turn that over. Paul, turn that over.
Get out!
Is that the craziest thing? I don't know how you do it, Johnny. That's fantastic.
Wow.
Want to try something different now?
We would.
Okay, this time, Paul, the much older brother, pick
I'm
any card
giddy.
you'd like.
Let's see.
And you
This
show it around. If you don't like it, we can change your mind because I want you to make sure you like it.
can't see it.
Why can't I see it?
Why? He didn't say we could see. You could see it.
Put it right on top of there.
Okay.
Now, Paul, you're going to tap it 3 times and say
Okay.
hocus pocus.
Okay. Hocus pocus.
No. Yeah, they're all red. But when someone taps it 3 times and says hocus pocus, a strange thing happens. Believe it or not, one of the cards magically turns blue. Now, I'm not saying that's your card, but one does turn blue. Now, would that be cool if it was your card?
That'd be